I was never comfortable around Zoe. She is my dad's close friend, or at least that is what he claims. Back in 2024, when she first came to our house, Dad casually introduced her, saying, "This is Zoe. She works with me at the office." At that time, everything seemed normal, but I do not know why from the very first meeting, something felt off. Since that day, I have had a strange feeling about her. After Mom passed away, Dad changed a lot. I understand he is lonely, but Zoe becoming such a big part of our lives so quickly never felt right to me. There are 3 of us siblings. William is 12 years old and Lily is 5, and I am the oldest. At first, Zoe used to come occasionally. Then she started coming regularly. One day, I overheard Dad talking to someone on the phone. He said, "You act so normal in the office, but at home you are completely different." I thought he was joking, but Zoe softly said from behind, "It is not necessary to be the same everywhere." Her tone was completely flat. One day, I came back from school and was heading upstairs to my room when I saw Zoe coming out of William's room. She closed the door and started going downstairs. I asked her what she was doing in William's room. She stopped and gave a slight smile. It was not a normal smile. She said she was just turning off his light because it was left on. I did not say anything and went to my room. After a while, when I heard her go downstairs, I went into William's room to check. The light was already off. But one thing was strange. William's closet door was slightly open. He always keeps it closed. I slowly shut the closet and came back. That was the first time I felt something was not right. I told Dad everything, but he just said, "Please have some patience." He knows I do not like Zoe. But something that happened a few days ago was the most disturbing. Dad and I were not at home, and William was at his friend Bob's house. I came back home without telling anyone and quietly headed toward my room. From downstairs, I could hear Lily crying, but it was not normal crying. It was fear. Then I heard Zoe's voice. She was not shouting, she was speaking slowly. "Stay quiet, or he will come." My blood froze. I immediately ran downstairs. The moment I entered, she instantly acted normal. She did not know I was home. "Oh, you are back," as if nothing had happened. That night, I could not sleep. Around 2 a.m., I felt my room door slowly open. I kept my eyes closed, but I could clearly hear someone entering. Slow footsteps, stopping near my bed. Then I felt someone leaning very close, watching me. Their breath was on my neck. I gathered the courage and opened my eyes. The room was empty, and the strangest part was the door was now closed. I immediately got up and went toward the hallway. Dad's room door was slightly open. I peeked inside. Dad was asleep, and Zoe was lying beside him. But there was one problem. Her face was not toward Dad. She was looking straight at the door, at me, and slowly smiling, as if she knew that I had seen everything. I went back to my bed, but fear had completely taken over me. She is dangerous. I can feel it. What was she doing in my room, watching me while I was sleeping? Just thinking about it terrifies me. A strange fear has settled inside my heart. I just want her to leave our house and our lives. But the worst part is, maybe Dad sees everything too, but he is just too scared to tell me. This happened a few years ago when I was 25. I was staying at my condo for a while. It's on the 5th floor. I usually use this place for vacations. I'm originally from Florida, and when the heat there becomes unbearable, I head over to San Diego for a bit. The weather there is much calmer and more comfortable, especially at night. I'm a software engineer, and I work remotely, so all I really need is my laptop. I can manage my work from anywhere, and honestly, this place was perfect for that. The area where my building is located is generally considered very safe. Clean streets, a decent neighborhood. There had never been any serious issues. That night, everything felt normal. There was a cool breeze blowing. It was around midnight. I was sitting on the balcony, using my laptop with my feet up on the table. Below me, the lights in the parking lot were dimly glowing. That's when I heard a voice from below. "Hey, guy on the balcony." I ignored it at first. People often talk loudly on their phones. I figured he was calling someone else. Then, I heard it again. "Yeah, you, 5th floor." My focus broke. I slowly stood up, walked to the railing and looked down. A man was standing there, looking directly at me. His posture was strange, standing perfectly straight, completely still. He looked up and waved his hand.
"Come down for a second. I want to show you something."
His tone was trying to sound friendly, but it didn't feel natural. I just said a firm no and sat back down in my chair. For a few seconds there was silence. Then, he let out a low laugh. But it wasn't a normal laugh. It lasted too long, and it felt completely unprovoked. My gut was telling me right then that this guy wasn't right. I casually closed my laptop, stood up, and headed toward the sliding door. As I was stepping inside, he yelled from below, "Lock the door, or I'll come up there myself." My hands froze. I immediately shut the door and locked it. Inside, I kept the lights dim. I was listening. Was he still out there? But there was no sound from below. The silence was even more uncomfortable. I thought maybe he had left. I was just starting to relax when suddenly, there was a heavy knock on my condo's main door. My heart literally jumped. How did he get up here so fast? And how did he know my exact unit? The knocking didn't stop. It turned into aggressive banging.
"Open the door!"
His voice was clearly angry now. I walked toward the door and shouted back,
"I'm calling the police."
There was silence for a second. Then, I heard a strange scraping sound, like metal rubbing against something. Then a sharp hitting sound against the wood. My throat went dry. I backed away. The guy was literally stabbing the door. This probably only lasted a minute or two, but at that moment, every second felt heavy. Then, one last loud hit, a curse word, and the sound of footsteps walking away. I didn't move for several seconds. Then, I slowly looked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. He was gone. I called the police immediately. When I checked the door, there were deep, small cuts in the wood, clear knife marks. If the door had been weak, he might have made it inside. The police came and took a report, but they found no trace of the man. No clear face on the cameras, no ID. It was like he just appeared and then vanished. I still go there today, but there's one thing I never do anymore. I never sit on the balcony alone at night, and if someone calls out from below, I never, ever answer. I've only spent one night of my life in a jail cell, and the strangest thing is that night I hadn't done anything wrong. It all started with a small misunderstanding. I was driving my car late at night, exhausted, so I stopped outside a well-known 24/7 convenience store just to get an energy drink. There weren't many people inside, just a girl and her 3 friends standing near the counter. I walked straight to the fridge, picked up a drink, and stood in line. At that moment, one of the girls looked at me in a weird way. I ignored it. But when I reached the counter, she suddenly said to the cashier, "This guy is following us." I was confused. I said, "What? I just came to get a drink." But the situation escalated. They started saying that I had been following them from outside the store and that I was standing near them unnecessarily. The truth was, I hadn't said a single word to them. The cashier immediately called security. The guard came, and without properly listening, he started pushing me out. I was already frustrated, and yes, I'd had a little to drink. I resisted. I didn't do anything. And that's where the mistake happened. Outside, the police were already on patrol. They saw the scene and obviously took the guard's side. I was handcuffed. The cell was exactly like it is in the movies. Cold walls, a wooden bench, and one more man. He was already sitting there. The way he looked at me made me feel uncomfortable. He had random tattoos on his arms, one tooth missing, and a strange focus in his eyes. And the strangest thing was, his eyes were smiling, but his face wasn't. It felt like he was observing everything. First time he asked, "Why are you in here?" I just nodded slightly. I didn't want to talk to him, but complete silence also felt weird. After a while, a normal conversation started, and slowly I started to feel comfortable, or maybe careless. I told him my whole story, where I live, that my parents are out of the city, and that I stay home alone. Everything. He just listened. In between, he would give a small smile. At that time, I thought he was just killing time. The next morning, I was taken to court. The judge gave me a warning and released me with a future date. The case wasn't over, but I was free. I went straight home. At night, the house felt a little strange. Everything was fine, but there was an uneasy feeling like someone was watching. I noticed that the kitchen window was slightly open. I thought maybe I had left it like that in a hurry. I started closing the windows. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. From outside. Slow, very faint, like someone was moving quietly. I slowly walked toward the backyard. I stopped near the sliding door and turned on the light. And in that moment, two people ran past the fence and disappeared into the darkness. But in that 1 second, I saw one of their faces clearly. It was him, my cellmate. A thought immediately hit my mind. That wasn't a casual conversation. He was gathering information, and I had told him everything myself. The house setup, my parents' schedule, the location, everything. I immediately turned on all the lights, locked the doors, closed the blinds. That night, I didn't sleep for even a second. Every small sound made it feel like they had come back. They never came back again. But that night, I understood one thing. Some people aren't in jail because they are unlucky. They are there because they are dangerous. I never told my parents that I went to jail, and I never told them that one night 2 men came to our house, and that I was the one who had invited them. This happened a few weeks ago, and honestly, I still haven't decided whether it was just a coincidence or something else. I don't usually believe in things like that. I had been seeing a guy for a while. His name was Jack. We met through a mutual friend. At first, everything was normal. He was funny, confident, and we got close pretty quickly. After some time, I introduced him to my family. My parents were neutral about him, but my older sister, her reaction was strange. She's normally very straightforward, but that day she was unusually quiet. Later, she pulled me aside and simply said, "There's something off about him." I asked her why, but she didn't give any real explanation. She just said, "Keep some distance from him. I don't get a good feeling." I didn't take it seriously, but slowly, things started to change. Jack had a very unpredictable temper. He would get irritated over small things, and sometimes his tone became so harsh that it made me feel uneasy. There was even one night when I thought he was about to hit me. At the last second, he stopped himself. After seeing that, it became clear what kind of person he really was. I broke up with him that same night. When my sister found out, she only said one word: "Good." A few days later, my sister died in a road accident. It was the biggest shock of my life. I put one of her photos on the wall in my bedroom, directly across from my bed. For a long time after that, I was emotionally broken because I missed my sister deeply. Then one day, Jack messaged me. I ignored it. Then he messaged again, and I don't know why, but I replied almost immediately. This time, everything felt different. He was calm, soft-spoken, no arguments. It was like he had genuinely changed. We started seeing each other again, and honestly, I began to feel safe with him again. A few days ago, we decided that we were officially back together. That same night, I woke up to a sound, not very loud, but clear, like something had fallen and shattered. I turned on the lamp. The room looked normal. Then I looked at the wall in front of me, and my mind went blank. My sister's photo was no longer there. I jumped out of bed. The frame was lying on the floor. The glass was shattered, but it hadn't fallen straight down. It was lying slightly to the side, like someone had deliberately knocked it down. All the windows in the room were closed. The fan was off. My hands were shaking as I picked up the frame, and in that moment, I remembered what my sister had said. Keep your distance from him. The next morning, I called Jack. I calmly told him that maybe we should take a break for a while. His reaction changed instantly. Anger, blaming me, the same tone, exactly like before. I hung up the call. After that call, everything became clear to me. He had never changed. But one thing still isn't clear: the frame falling. I think about it logically. Maybe the nail was loose. Maybe it was just a coincidence. But the timing, that exact same night, the night I let him back into my life. I still don't believe in supernatural things. But if it wasn't just an accident, then I'm grateful someone warned me.